Hey amazing people, welcome to my channel once again. My name is Gloria Boledowa. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. Welcome to RIA'S. And in today's episode, we'll be talking about the declutter. It will be our Declutter series in continuation. 2 weeks ago, we spoke about forgiveness. In today's episode, we will be continuing on decluttering your house. Oh my goodness, have you been in a messy house before? Heard of the word hoarding, to hoard? I believe most of us at some point in our lives have been hoarders. Like you've held on to something. Is it a document that you feel like it's too precious, you don't want to let it go, and 10 years, 5 years down the line, you haven't still used the document? Like there are some certificates they gave to you that were so precious and you feel like, I'm not going to let them go, and you still have them till today. Something your great grandmother gave to you, your grandfather gave to you. I know some things are very precious, but honestly, when you look down, like I have one water bottle that my dad gave to me like since 2014 or 2012. Honestly, till today I haven't let it go. And I'm like, what am I using it for? To be sincere, I am not using it. I tried to using it when I had my son. It's like a little flask that retains heat a lot, but honestly, I have not used it. Trust me, there are so many things you have in your house that you don't know. All you have to do is let it go. Have you heard the song by Passenger? No, 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 you let it go. To declutter your house is to declutter your life. Well, I've always had the mind that if I live in a big house, I need to occupy space, right? You don't want to be talking and the house is sounding back at you, the echoes and all of that. So I always felt like, well, I have the space, why not fill it up? And so I kept filling up, taking things online, like, oh, is this available? I get it. It costs so little, I buy it. I honestly keep thinking that I'm going to need it in the future. Oh, my son is growing up, he's going to need the bike seat, the double stroller is going. I just kept collecting. I'll be moving houses soon. But in fact, that was what brought my sanity back to life. I'm like, Gloria, what have you been doing with your life? And I started giving, in fact, I'm giving practically everything out, and I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of myself. So that is why in this episode, we need to declutter. In this country, to declutter is one of the hardest things, because by the time you have, it's not so easy for you to just burn things, like just create pollution in the air, and you have to find a way to properly dispose of them. And so that is why things are recycled a lot, especially like, let's say you have drawers, things that are quite difficult to just dispose, that won't go into your blue bin. Most times people just keep giving them out, right? That's like the easiest way to do it. The first thing I'd like to tell you is it's not so difficult, but just tell yourself that, Gloria, if I got the trash, then I should be able to get rid of it. Like if you're to think back, most things that you have today, maybe is that jean, is that clothes, new bag, is that new shoe, or for your children, and you feel like, if I didn't have them at that point, oh no, there will be no peace. Have you think back to say that you almost fought with your spouse? It's not so expensive, why not just buy it? After all, it's £10, after all, it's £5, after all, it's £20. You may have taken extra hours on, like, extra shift at work just to get the money, and today is of no use. You almost went into debt because you borrowed to buy some of those things. The TV in your house, I mean, they may have been of use to you at some point, but in the long run, right, it wasn't worth it. Have you been to the charity shop? Most times, most things you see there are things that other people have let go. You think, oh, this is so fine, but honestly, in that person's life, it is actually useless. Me right now, I'm in that head space of just removing, giving out, and not gathering. I remember in my Sunday school last week, we were talking about understanding of the times, right? There was this scripture that came up, it's Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 6. It said there's a time to get and there's a time to lose. There's a time to keep and there's a time to cast away. Perfect. This is my time to cast away. The time to keep is all gone. So have you realized that most of those things right now, they're like thorn in your flesh? You're like, oh my goodness, it's giving you sleepless night. Where am I going to keep this? I'm moving to a new place and I don't have so much of space as I used to have, and I'm like, oh my god, where am I going to keep all these things? When I look at this so much clutter that I have currently, I just keep saying, oh my goodness, I hope this is not how my heart is at the moment. I hope, you know, if a human being were to have this kind of clutter in their life, how do they survive? Like, how do you survive with so much hatred and unforgiveness and all of that in your heart, right? Because as I'm talking to you, I'm looking at one just staring at me right now, and it's all cluttered. I need to get out of the house. What are some of the benefits to declutter? One, that everywhere is opened up and then it's easier for you to clean the house, so you have less cleaning to do. 2, you have less things to worry about. 3, you have less things to organize. 4, you have less spending equals to less debt. So if you don't spend too much, you have more money to save. 5, you can easily find stuff. Things will be very easy for you to find because everywhere is opened up. 6, You have financial freedom. You can go for that beautiful holiday. You have so much money saved up to spend on something more productive in your life. Now let's go into it. How do you declutter? The first thing for you to do that I would suggest is to make a declutter checklist. It's pretty much doing a to-do list. It's one thing that I, by the grace of God, I'm very great at. It will help you. First thing is itemize everything that you think you need to do for that day. Remember, we are decluttering your house. The house is big. It comprises of your lounge, your kitchen. You may have your visitors room, the bathrooms, toilets, your bedrooms, your kids' rooms, right? You have so much areas in the house. Do a checklist to go about it. So the next thing is start with one section of the house. Peradventure, I want to declutter my house. The first thing I do is maybe I could choose to declutter the kitchen first. Arrange the surfaces, put things into perspective. If you think that your cutleries are all jumbled up, all you have to do is make sure maybe today just dedicate it to say I will separate the spoons from the forks, from the knife, from your spatulas, and make sure everything is arranged and properly placed. But that will also go a long way to make you feel relaxed. And believe me, everything about decluttering is therapeutic. Okay, so focus on one section of the house at a time. If you think that you cannot do it, you have kids, you are busy, work and all of that, why not dedicate, even if it's 5 minutes of the day, to just doing something, to just decluttering one section and then subsection. So focus in the kitchen, you can focus in the drawers, or you can focus on the sink, just like descaling, or you can focus on mopping. Like, it's just breaking it into sections, subsections per day. Okay, so you don't have to do everything major because, well, you may be busy. Okay, if you're going to do the bathrooms, for example, all the toothbrushes are all scattered or they're not properly arranged or aligned, put them in one section. If you have to wash your toilet, if you have to wash your sink, your bathroom, get your laundries done. These are some things that you could do to declutter your house. Next thing is, you could also give yourself a goal. Some people can do a long term, a short term, and some long term could be like a month, some short term could be like a week. In this month, the target is that my house in total must be clean. Next 3 days, or in this week, 3 days out of it, I'm going to use to declutter sections of my house. Mind you, don't start with your kids' room because their room most likely may be one of the messiest. Focus on the areas that you feel like you have more control over than starting with the kids' room or the toy room. If the toy room is separate from the kids' room, then don't start with the toy room because that's the center of disaster. Next thing is take a picture of that place when it was rough, and then after you've arranged it, take a picture again. There's a video I uploaded some time ago where I was just arranging the drawers, folding some clothes up. There was a before and a after. So the before was my room was a mess, and later on I saw clean and how everything went into the drawers, and trust me, it was amazing. Check out your phone out, take a picture of how messy the place was. And it doesn't have to be somewhere big, right? It could just be the top of your makeup desk. Do a before and after of it and feel like, wow, this is actually beautiful. I think this is how I want my house to be. It also gives you that motivation to say, wow, if my house can be this neat, or if my makeup desk can be this arranged and beautiful or perfect, I think I want my house in general to be like that. Mind you, this may not be the vibe or the morale every day, but it's the little things that count towards progress in life. Step-by-step process that you take towards it, and gradually you can inculcate it into your character, into your life. Before I got married, had a baby, I was always making sure that my things were in place, and trust me, down to a paracetamol sachet. You know how we have like 8 in 1 and you've taken 2 out or you've taken 4 out, and I hate it. Even till now I still hate it, but I'm trying to tell you how far I will go. I would like slice up I would slice off the part that is used and throw it away because I hate to see anything like that is trash, in quotes, connected to something that is still clean or still unused, right? So my siblings, they know me on this. Whenever I come in, like, Gloria, please don't touch my charger, please don't touch this, because I will find a way to arrange everything. But once marriage come in and babies come, it may not be your everyday life, but as time goes by, I think if you let yourself go completely, you'll be amazed the junks, how rough and dirty your house will be. And gradually it may also come into your life. If you're not careful, you might start seeing yourself to be dirty, and your kids are growing up. Don't forget, they're seeing how decluttered the house is, how things are, the toys are always scattered. Try and arrange your house where your kids are looking at you. It's not easy, but it's also good. It's also a way to encourage in their hearts, in their minds, that mommy is clearing up. It is a good practice, right? Sometimes I tell my son, pick it up, go and put it where it ought to be. And trust me, my son knows where the bin is. I always say, take it, go and put it in the bin. Not just bin, the general bin downstairs. He knows the bin in my room. So I'm like, go and put it in the bin. Everything that doesn't need to be on the ground goes to the bin. And he knows that very well. So you can always inculcate it into the life of your children, and they see that mommy is actually cleaning up. Sometimes my son throws something away, I'm like, go pick it up and put it where it ought to be. And it does. You may think that nothing is being affected or impacted. Trust me, your kids are being impacted. The next thing is, how do you view your home? Do you view your home with the eyes of a stranger or a visitor? That's one thing that you could do. Most times when I finish cooking and my hobby is very a mess, I'm like, oh Gloria, if a visitor were to come into this house right now, would they like this thing or it irritate them? Normally it will give them an impression that this lady is dirty or the members of this household is dirty. The idea is, make sure that you view your house with the eyes of a stranger or a visitor. Okay, I don't know if it sounds okay, but if you think that when a stranger comes in they will judge you because that is on the floor or that is not properly arranged, it's a sign that you have to do it. Now the next thing is air freshener. Get an air freshener. This cannot be overemphasized. Air freshener doesn't have to just be in your toilet where all the things go out. It needs to be in your lounge, it needs to be in your room. Get an air freshener. Most times you can get the one that you can easily just spray in the air, but most importantly you could also get the one that sprays itself, that air purifies itself, you know, like every 30 minutes, and you can set it. That's the beauty of it. Set it into timer. 30 minutes, every 18 minutes, every 9 minutes. The one I have, well, that's pretty much how it is. Remember, where everywhere smells nice is also therapeutic, and it also makes you feel great in your own house. Another thing you could do to help declutter your house is to get a friend. Get a friend that you think is very critical. You have to swallow your pride to get this, and you ask them, truly, what do you think? And they can be very objective. They can ask you this and this. Why do you want this one? Why do you want to keep this? If the reason is not justifiable, you have to agree to let it go. Because most times we are too sentimentally attached to things. Remember I said even the bottle that my dad gives to me, I've not used it, but to let it go, I'm like, oh, this is what my dad gave to me. It's just excess trash. They can be really objective, you know, they can go down to every single thing in your house and then let it go. Another thing that you can do to help you declutter your house is to take pictures and post them online. Like, this has been my forte. Make sure you take a good angle of all the pictures. Is it drawers? Is it wardrobe? Baby changing table, bed, mirrors, name it. Food items, kitchen tools, sofa, chairs. What's old for you is new for another person, and it will go a long way to help their lives. I put on Vinted app before, on Facebook Market. In fact, that's like the center. You can put on Gumtree. You can put on so many social media platforms that allow you to sell. Post on groups, you know, in your location, and someone will come knocking on your door and collecting all these things. And honestly, it's very gratifying. It's very, I don't know, it's very beautiful. I started it off with my children's clothes and I haven't looked back since then, and you'll be amazed the life will be blessing. And sometimes all you can get is a thank you, and it goes a long way. If you think that they're still very good in quality and you feel like you need to make money out of them because I spent money to get them and you've not really utilized them, put a price tag on them. People will come for it because they know that looking at the quality is great, and also save them money on buying brand new when they can get something that is still great quality. That will also help you to declutter your house. The last thing I would like to talk about is make sure you go back to your checklist, so you tick everything that you've done amazing. This is one part that I enjoy doing all the time. After I have gone through or written down my to-do list, right, even the ones that I forgot that I know I did and they were really massive for that day, I go back to my checklist and I write it out and I tick it, and it's very gratifying. You can give yourself a bit of a reward. It can be a movie night. One thing I would like to say is you can celebrate yourself, right? Give yourself little treats and rewards for doing amazing, but don't go to the extreme. You can't go and watch one full season or seasonal movie and say because you decluttered your house. I think that's a bit too much. You could say, if I to complete my task for today, I would watch one episode or one movie until you finish the whole house, and then you feel like, okay, yes, you deserve to watch the last episode. If you don't finish it, no watching for you. Or you could relax, listen to music, and just go and eat that McDonald's or that chicken and chips that you've been meaning to eat. In that way, as of the time you're completing the whole thing, you feel like you've pampered yourself, you've paid yourself for doing well. So those are my little tips on how to help you declutter your home. I hope they're very amazing. I hope they're able to help you, because honestly, I'm in that phase in my life right now and it is doing me so much good. It's amazing. I can't complain and I love it. So thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourself. Click on the subscribe button, like, share, comment. That is how you help my channel to grow. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye. How are you? See, we just woke up. Hey.